Hello and welcome to This and That. I'm Dave Leese.
And I am not Jennifer Kirk.
This
I've never won Junior Worlds. I didn't win 4 continents. I never competed on the Grand Prix.
I think you're selling yourself a little bit short here. I mean, you had some moments at Wissahickon, right? You skated
That was the worst.
You did skate to Amelie before Tanith Belbin. So for those who don't know, this is my friend La Scheu. Her full name is Laura Scheu. You've always been La, and every time I've ever talked about you to anyone, I always forget because you're just La to me, and they'll be like, La, what's that? I'm like, is her name Laura? I'm like, yeah. So, it doesn't make sense to anyone, but for those of you, to introduce you, you are a former figure skater. You competed as a senior lady back in Mid-Atlantics in the era when Vanessa I'm sorry?
South Atlantic.
I thought you're mid. I thought it would be like New Jersey.
There's such thing as mid.
You know what? I'm so sorry. So sorry. You know what? Regionals isn't on Ice Network, okay? I'm just saying. I would watch it if it were. But you competed against Vanessa James when she was American, and she used to have a sister who was also...
I think she does have a sister.
She does have a sister. You also competed against the Psychins, who competed for Israel. Kimmy Meisner was around your area. Who else was there around the time?
Scott Smith was a big name.
Scott Smith was one of my original skating crushes. Yes, okay.
And then all those University of Delaware people.
Okay.
Some are still around. Erica Choi Smith, who we see in pairs now.
Oh, we'll get to her. Yeah, okay.
So anyway, now I coach skating. Mm-hmm. I'm also a yoga teacher and a certified health coach, which is kind of like a nutritionist.
Yeah.
And Jenny, if you're watching, you should really come back. She set the bar really high, and feel bad for your fans that are used to looking at Jenny and now looking at this, because I really don't know the first thing about doing my own hair and makeup.
Jenny, we've learned a lot. I have professional lighting everywhere, but I haven't. You know what? We talked with her all summer in the group text until all of a sudden she went to law school. She had to read the Constitution. And it was like Jenny Kirk has left the group message. And it was like, what? We knew everything that went on in her life on a 24/7
I know.
basis.
I feel this absence in my life from not having Jenny updates.
I know. And it was like that date in August. You don't know when it's coming. But she posted a picture of herself as a nerd. But I'm a nerd. And I've never been sleeveless before. Wearing it, so I was a little confused, but it was Jenny's version. But I imagine law school is going very well because when she is into something, it's 24/7, as I know very well. But we want to talk. We actually know each other because you've actually never been that big of a fan of the skating lesson.
Not true.
Look. You're one of those people like Sean Rabbit's parents who came up to me at Nationals, and it doesn't matter how many episodes of TSL I do. They're like, so why aren't you writing your blog? And I'm like, what am I not giving you in skating? What am I not doing? But you were a fan of the old blog. That is how we met.
So they enjoyed that you called their son Ginger Jackson?
It was a term of endearment for the family, and actually Japanese fans went to Golden West and held up signs at one point and yelled for him.
Oh.
Yes.
Well then.
You never saw it.
I was a big fan of Aunt Joyce's ice cream stand, but that is not to say I'm not supportive of TSL.
Am I still in your phone as Aunt Joyce?
I have Dave Leese, and then as your company, I have Aunt Joyce's ice cream stand.
Perfection.
And it's only because I have an Aunt Jane, and I didn't want to I sometimes text you inappropriate things, and I never wanted to text her those things.
So we've actually been in a group text for years. I believe your husband knows about the group text. Very.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Because
he asked for updates.
Yeah, so La's husband used to work with our friend Elkin, and does he know about skating? What does he act? I mean, he's watched it with us. So
yeah, but he's never been sober while watching it, has he?
I think. I mean, I think so. But I brought my Mr. Man to Mid-Atlantics, and he met Megan Duhamel and loved her. But he also met Alexei Krasnozhan, and we got into discussion about Tatiana Tarasova. And he's now fascinated by her and like Googles her constantly and like wants to know everything about her. He's all into the videos of her watching skating. So that is the only figure he knows in skating, but an important one. But another important figure that we have to get to is reigning world champion Yevgenia Medvedeva. Okay, let's break down. Let's start with the short program. An important moment in our lives. The debut of Yevgenia Medvedeva. What's going on at the beginning of this program? Because I'm a little confused. What is happening?
The jumping rope.
Yeah, is she jumping rope?
I think so. I thought she was maybe supposed to be a kid on the playground during recess. I mean, I don't know what else she would be.
All right. I mean, I love the music. Overall, the program's very nice. I just don't get the beginning, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, she interprets...
I thought it was interesting that she's choosing to do loop here instead of Lutz.
Well, there's been some speculation about how real that Lutz is, so I don't know. I mean, there's probably a reason why she's doing it. Right. She may switch it back. I'm not Yevgenia Medvedeva. I'm not doing triple sow, triple toe, triple toe, triple toe. And I think that they should let her do that if she wants to, by the way. She does look a little bit taller, but it looks like she's adjusted just fine. This is like the 5th growth spurt that she has gone. Because this girl was discussed a not choice back in the day. She was one of, like, the originals, okay?
Yeah,
so,
I remember.
Like, whenever people say that, like, we're not supportive of Russia here, I'm like, oh, no. Aunt Joyce used to be accused of being anti-American. So TSL, we are very, like, in with the Russians. I just don't always understand their programs.
Yes, and especially the free program. So what's going on here?
So I read, I Google translated an article on the Russian Figure Skating Federation website where Ilya Averbuk discusses the program. And he says it's supposed to be a tribute to 9/11, but not just to 9/11, to also be about, terror attacks in Egypt. Obviously very deep. I don't think that we are on Medvedeva's level. I mean, we're not doing triple sow, triple toe, triple toe, triple toe. So I would never accuse myself of being on her level. I don't understand. She's supposed to be confused during the footwork about what is this world. To me, it looks like she's got some, like, of the noose imagery going on, but that was not confirmed in the article. After the triple loop, it looks like there's the rope. Maybe the rope is the man, and she's being, like, look, I took AP English Lit and AP English Language, right? I am ready to dissect these programs, okay? All right? I liked... I don't know. The program is strange to me. She could be skating to anything, Yeah,
it doesn't even matter. So I actually read the same article, and it's difficult to understand what he's saying. But the more I've thought about it is that I think it's, like, very inappropriate. And it's not only inappropriate for this teenager, but it's also not fitting of her personality and who she comes across on the ice. She is a very, like, this bright young talent.
Yeah.
Why is she trying to do something so heavy? It just doesn't fit with her. She looks so happy on the ice, and she draws you in with that lightness about her that the heavy theme is not going to work. But, at the end of the day, those jumps are unbeatable, and it doesn't really matter what she's skating to and what she's wrapping around her head.
Yeah, she's quite, she really can rotate almost anything. And, you were telling me that she can, rotate a triple toe off of anything. It looks...
She's not even it's not so much her jumping ability as it's her rotation ability. It's just unreal.
She gets in and snaps very tightly. Yeah, and it looks like if she can stay at this level, I think it should be very difficult to beat over the next 18 months. The phone call at the end. So I know that some cell phones still make that sound. I haven't had a cell phone ring in a long, long time. I was confused. It sounded like my grandmother's rotary phone. Apparently it's supposed to be open-ended for all of us, whether or not it ends on a happy note or a sad note in the terrorist attack.
Because terrorist attacks end on happy notes?
Well, her lover could be okay. Her 16-year-old... she could have met a boy on the Junior Grand Prix. Like, whoever Yulia was supposedly dating, or Radianova. Yes, yeah, okay.
Okay, she hasn't been on the Junior Grand Prix for several years, but...
You know, I'm just saying, she could have met someone at the World's party. You know, I don't know. Look,
Yes.
she doesn't.
You go, girl.
You go. You go. You know what? And he is okay. I am taking that program on a happy note because I think she is okay for the season. I think that she is going to do very well. But one girl I'm not so sure if we're going to see her competing or is this exhibition is Adelina Sotnikova. What is your take on her?
Surprised to see her here?
I am a little bit surprised to see her only because she didn't make it back to the Worlds last year. She looks to be like she's been training or she's been skating. It doesn't look like she's taken that much time off. I don't know if she can do, you know, triple Lutz triple toe anymore. She did do a double axel triple toe in the free, which I think is an improvement over last year. What did you think of her?
I mean, her jumps are huge. She just flies. I was definitely surprised to see her here. And also, I mean, she wasn't perfect. She definitely had mistakes, but like that was the program. Granted, she left out the spins, but that was the program of someone who has trained long programs.
Yeah.
She was not, sure, she like sort of gave out a little bit at the end, but you could tell she's training.
Yeah. I liked the programs, especially the short. I really liked the short. I thought in the free, I really liked that she held that back edge on the spiral. Mm-hmm. There's one moment, she does the Saucal from a back entrance rather than a mohawk, you know, where you're doing a forward turn into it or doing, you know, a 3-turn into the Saucal. And that looked like some harebrained idea that a coach had to be unique and different. And clearly it's not working. I wouldn't be shocked if she ditches that entrance into the Saucal later on.
You can see she definitely is more into the toe. She's a toe jumper than an edge jumper there.
Yeah.
But she's improved.
Does she just...
Especially since Sochi.
Yeah. She's doing what Peggy Fleming would say. She's, have your moment, be like, she's holding out her edges so much more. Beautifully.
She is.
She is. She really is.
She is. And she's one of the few that does that. And I really find myself rooting for her. And I'm not quite sure why, but... maybe it's that we love a good comeback story and you see those improvements and I want her to do well.
I would like her to do well. I like the program, especially the short. She has some fire to her. I love the long last year. This long, I think, is going to grow on all of us. She has a real artistic vision on the ice. Someone
does.
Well, someone that I thought looked like a vision was Yulia Lipnitskaya.
Yes! I loved her outfit. It looked right out of Lululemon.
I was walking by Lululemon and thought of her today because she had... Can you teach yoga in that thing that she's wearing in the short program?
Oh, yeah, I love a high neck.
The high neck. Oh, my goodness. She looks much improved. They're using her legs more on her jumps. They're keeping the free leg lower, especially on the takeoff. I thought that she looks more in control. Sometimes Yulia, especially the year after the Olympics, was going for some of those jumps, and it looked a little out of control, like she was trying to really jam in for the body. She looks much more confident, I think, as well. Yeah.
You can really see improvement on her jump technique, especially the Lutz. Mm-hmm. I mean, still some issues, like you saw in her free, her triple loop, she rotated her shoulders too quickly. But really much improvements, and that's hard to do at that level. When you get to that point, you don't really see those type of improvements often. So good for her. I mean, the short program was obviously a lot better than the long, and that is sort of how I expect her to do on the Grand Prix this year. Like,
she's a short program skater like Sasha, although when she came on the scene for the first couple of years, at least through the Olympics, through the team event, she was a free program girl. You know, she usually used to be kind of behind in the short if they were going to take the Flutz deduction or whatever they were going to do, and then she would have the stamina. It's been kind of the opposite. So I'm interested to see if she can kind of get that consistency back. I mean, the one thing I'd say in her short that she does so brilliantly and doesn't do it in the long, she has such a unique, the flexibility in those spins are so unique to her and just like really set her apart. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't hold those moments in the free program as much as I think she should. And she doesn't make those highlight moments. Mm-hmm. And I really think if I was the choreographer, I would. I think, she needs to hold out the spirals. You know, she needs that Schindler's List ending that she had, you know, and really accentuate that. Have a Sasha moment. If you have the Sasha flexibility, go for your diva moment, honey. You hold that edge. You look sexy. You
own it, girl.
Own it, honey. And also, I mean, she doesn't look as into the free program. And this is
What is that free program?
I don't know. Look, why do I feel like we need like a media book for like a playbook for all of these free skates? Like I don't understand what the theme was here.
But all those music cuts, like...
So it reminds me of Scott Hamilton, shout out to you, with like the 82 worlds and the 83 worlds when you're just like swapping out one of your 4 or 5 pieces of music. We'll talk to you about you in a second, Max Aaron. And we will, like, it just like, they have like, it goes from Samson and Delilah to Cinderella to, I don't know, like what's happening. To me, some of these Russian programs, there's something for everyone to love, I think...
Maybe that's the theme.
If you don't like my theme of music, the next one is going to be so different that, like, maybe you'll like it.
Don't worry, you only have to listen to it for 30 seconds.
Yes. Speaking of that, Anna Pogorilaya, she starts out with this very lyrical free skate.
I loved it.
Stretching a little bit more. She's still not the most expressive skater. She doesn't have the Sasha Cohen flexibility moment. Very pretty girl, though. I'm not sure. Did Mishigi, the ISU bios aren't really updated where it's like clear. Did Mishigi do this program? I know he was working with her. I was following all of that on Instagram. What Misha was doing, him working with Gracie. Yeah. Is he to blame for these music edits? I'm not, because it goes into like 3 different pieces.
Well, he is kind of Russian, so maybe.
Look.
But I really did like in the beginning seeing her, that lyrical style. I thought that was a really nice fit for her.
And the pretty pink dress, she looked...
Yes.
She looked a little Jenny Kirk-ish out there. Skating to the Princess Diaries. I can see it. Yeah.
And her arms looks great and strong. She looks like someone who really took that world bronze medal and it's given her such a boost of confidence. And she really looks like such a strong competitor. And I mean,
I want to interview her. How did she go from the Europeans to worlds? Like, what has happened? Like, to like NHK to like what? What a difference. You go. And the triple Lutz, half loop, triple sow, she pulls that thing out of nowhere every time. Just nails it. One thing, I thought that she was too slow going into the flip and going on the diagonal. I thought the shoulder dropped and it just had not a prayer. She was crawling into it. But I think overall, and you know what? The music didn't make sense, but Pasha's Memorial Requiem came on.
Your favorite?
My favorite piece of music. So I visited Nikolai this summer, 8 a.m. on that session at the Ice House because I had to go to the 8 o'clock session because, like, he was still, like, feeling me out whether or not, like, he wanted me to be there when Weaver and Poche were there. So, like, you had to, like, pass the Nikolai test, right? So they don't skate that early, or at least weren't then. So, like, the music, like, comes on. And you know that, like, 90% of the kids there are too young to, like, understand the blueberry skates or, like, any of this. So, and Annabelle was like, Dave, what should I skate to for you? And I'm, like, trying to be like, oh, I don't know. And then finally I'm like, Andrew, put Pasha's music back on. And it was perfection. Had a Russian moment.
See? That's what these girls are going for. Something for everyone.
Something, you know what? And Memorial Requiem, it's not for everyone. It's for us, though. Were you Team Pasha or were you Team Krylova?
Oh, no, Pasha.
Okay, all right.
Especially in 98.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do have to say about Pogorilaya, looking ahead, I expect her to do, I don't expect to see that middle linebacker come in and tackle her on the Grand Prix this year.
Look, Christine Brennan, send the tweets to her, not to us, okay? I didn't say it. Christine, she can take them. She's taken on Penn State today, Ryan Lochte. I haven't seen her in months. I've talked to her, but not seen her. Miss her.
Busy.
She's very busy. She's doing well though. Don't worry. I'm getting excited to see her again. You were very into like her. She told you to take hormones for your skin at Worlds. Yes. The conversations we have with this woman. She is like our idol. Another one of our idols from 2 years ago, my girl with the moo-moo. she's only wearing a half muumuu. Is Elizaveta Tuktamisheva only at half of her power without the full muumuu? Is it like Jason Brown's hair? Does it need to be full on, have the matching powers? Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that she had some good moments and some bad moments. There were times she looked great. Other times she looked like she could have been in the pairs event at Mid-Atlantic.
Oh, rude. Marissa and Mervin earned that trip to Skate America, okay? With their second long program since his concussion. I'm just saying. It might have looked like it. But anyway, yes, it's an uneven...
We'll get to that.
It's an uneven performance. I just don't get the program. And to me, I don't understand. I think she has to get to the heart of why she's skating. Why is she still continuing? I don't see the same verve in her that we had. And not even talking, I'm not a pharmacist, but I am not even talking about any of that. I'm talking about the music and the light that she had and the confidence and the attack. And she just had that extra little something special that season that I don't see right now. I think she's at a crossroads in her career.
Yeah, I thought the music fit her. I don't know why or what about it, but it just seemed like it suited her.
Is that an insult?
She needs to stretch her arms. Like, she does this thing that's like scarecrow robot arms into the jumps, and it drives me nuts, and I can't look at anything else. I'm like, stretch those arms.
Well, the upper part of her body, and like it's almost like the little action figures that you used to have when you were a kid, where you could like move the waist and like the upper. Maybe you didn't have action figure. Look, I played with them as people. They were getting married. The Ghostbusters were not fighting any ghosts, but anyway, they were doing triple lutzes in my. Just saying. The upper body, she doesn't stretch with her lower body at all. It has nothing to do with what her core or her upper body is doing ever. Usually she's just doing crossovers and some sort of arm movements. Yes. But you can see that axle technique that she has is brilliant. I get excited when she's going for it. Is she going for the triple? Is she not? You never know until the last moment. Sometimes the last competition of the year, she whips it out in the short program, wins the world title, but I wouldn't underestimate her. I'm not sure, though, if the program choreographically is going to kind of hold up to Medvedeva or your girl Pogarelaya.
Right. I mean, I think at this point it's almost like a tie for third, just based on this. Lipnitskaya, Sotnikova, Tuktamisheva. She does seem to, I don't know if you noticed this, sort of missed her takeoff when she's towing in. She like misses the toe in and toes in too short, and sometimes she can still pull it out and sometimes not really. I probably didn't explain that very well.
Do we need like a Scott Hamilton replay where he's going to tell us that blades don't go sideways?
I use that line when I'm coaching.
As you should. And you also use that what she did very well. Speaking of Scott Hamilton and broadcasting, here's a little plug for our upcoming book club we're having, Skating on Air with Kelly Lawrence. We're going to discuss all about skating, broadcasting, NBC, ABC, Wide World of Sports. For you kids who don't remember, go look up those fluff pieces, get this book. You can get it on Amazon, and we're all going to talk about it. And it's one of my favorites, so I am excited. I hope you're going to participate in our book club, okay?
I will. Can we go back to Radionova?
Yeah. Well, we didn't even get to Radionova. What place is she in if she is not in the tie? Where do you have her ranked?
Well, in this, she had a rough skate.
Yes.
Is she injured?
Look, she had a double fall. Even if she is not actually injured, I believe the blow to your pride is injured as such. We will say that she is injured. Okay. This girl is a world medalist, and she suffered something that only happens in practice when you are really tired at the end of a week where you fall on a jump, get up, and fall down again. That is just... Look, been there. It has happened. I'm not saying that it doesn't. It doesn't... You don't expect it from Radionova.
Right.
It looks like she's grown, kind of adjusting to that.
Filled out, not in a bad way.
No, she looks like a woman. Yeah.
She looks less like a string bean.
Yes.
But still in shape.
Yeah.
Skinny.
Yeah, I just think it's going to take some time.
I have to say, I liked this despite the 3 falls. I liked this program 8,000 times better than maybe anything we've seen from her before. Definitely last year, the so over the top melodramatic French short program, and then the Titanic. The
Titanic I kind of loved. It was so out there. I loved it. I didn't understand any of it. I was a fan. Just quickly, cough tune.
Okay.
What was the Alexis Sebeka line? Sucks for them. Moving on. Sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I watched cough tune. So there were a lot. You made me watch a lot of skating.
Listen. You're on the skating lesson. This is your moment. You beat Elkin, Callas. You got to come on here. Yes.
This was a lot of work. Anyone who doubts you work extremely hard. These videos on YouTube weren't labeled, and they also didn't announce the names. So, trying to find... I watched a lot of, unknown blonde girls thinking they were Pogorelaya, and they weren't. And a lot of odd music cuts that didn't go together at all. Anyway, so Compton was the last of the skaters that I watched, and including the dance, the pairs, all of it. And when YouTube does that thing where the music, they don't play the music?
Yes.
I was like, oh, thank you. This in silence. But he did that thing that you can't do in competition, where you throw a temper tantrum when you mess up your jump. And so he would mess up the quad and then have this mini temper tantrum and then go to the next one. So sucks for him. Moving on. I think he probably can pull it together, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Is going to be our man for the team event unless Plushenko comes back. So
I will not be surprised if Kolyada moves ahead of him, especially given Worlds, and becomes the top Russian if he's not already.
Well, let's discuss the pairs, because who is going to be the top pair for the team event? You have Tatiana and Max sitting a season out. He's coaching. They kind of do. I think the sport shows that they need quads, or Jillian has that throw triple axel. I mean, I saw her quads on her legs in person. I don't think anyone can take a season off and just expect to come back. I think it's going to be a challenge, especially if they're not seriously training. I think we saw last season, sometimes they got the marks, sometimes they didn't get the marks. Especially with the World Championships was definitely startling, especially as you get older. I'm waiting for that WADA report, the names to come out. Phil Hirsch and I talked about this when I interviewed him over the summer. For those of you that didn't listen to that interview, there's someone described as a gold and silver medalist. If that report is true, that looks like it would be potentially one of our medalists from the Olympic Games. If that all, I don't know what the decision is going to be. Is she going to compete this season or not? I don't know. But that's potentially their top 2 pairs. And then you have to look at, is it going to be Tarasova and Morozov or Kavaguti and Smirnov? So let's start with Tarasova and Morozov, okay? Skating to Aurelia Dobre's music from the 1987 World Championships. Aurelia Dobre, Romanian gymnast, had a knee injury, was a shadow of her former self a year later. And for the rest of her career. She had a moment at the end of 87. Didn't expect this music to come back in that way. I thought it was strange. To me, they look like they're very technically sound. It looks like they're working on the harder elements. I imagine this is the team that we will be putting the emphasis on. They have got to find a style, though. I mean, I don't think we know what to do with this team. Is there just
So
a Russian that doesn't have a star personality? I've never met a Russian that wasn't ready for the camera. I think that you are all stars. What?
I think they're ready. I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Yeah.
Really bold.
What?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I can see them winning the Olympics in 2018.
I don't know if I'm more afraid of Aliona or Jillian coming after you, or Sui. I think, well, yeah, all of those girls.
I can see it. I know that was really bold, but should I say 2022 to help?
No, look.
Feel better? I can see it. I know that's like kind of out there, but in terms of the music, I don't really know your obscure gymnast from the 80s reference, but what I thought was like, you know, when you're you go to the movies. You go to the movies a lot. And so like the credits roll in at the end and it's like, all right, you have like the first couple credits and that's like,
I'm always Shazamming to find out.
Yeah, you like get up and walk out. But then if for some reason you stay until like the end of the credits when like everyone's left and the music has changed and like, cause like who would stay and watch credits for that long? That's what I thought when I heard this music.
I actually stayed during the credits the last time I went to the movies with my parents because my boyfriend's neighbor was on the flight that Sully was on, and we had to like, because then they started like, the passengers started like saying their seat numbers, and she wasn't there, but we stayed for the whole credits. Like, I've done that a number of times. I have friends that are cinema people. I went to Ithaca College, all right? I stayed to the end of the credits many times in my life.
I'm getting out of there. Moving on.
Moving on and just...
Wait, but I think that they're like really strong, and that twist in the beginning, and you know the phrase pairs are as two skating as one?
Yes. Hearts beating at the same time. Gordieva and Grinkov. Right. Yes.
And it's hard to define in words what that is, what that means, but watching this team, and maybe it was just after watching Mid-Atlantics, but watching this team, you're like, that is two skating as one. Yes. Right there.
I'm a fan.
They're strong.
I would do, bold color, glittery silver crosses, Tarasova choreography, all of it for the Olympics. That is what I am suggesting, okay? Because I now feel the need, after I picked Grant Hochstein's music, because Karen is like, what should he skate to? By the way, I have a bone to pick. I have been quoted like everywhere, right? I've never been quoted. No. I've never been quoted on Ice Network. Ever. And then this was like my moment. Like, I don't care. Like, I was, like, I've, like a good press mention, like Bethany Frankel or anyone else. I've never been on Ice Network, ever. I picked his music. They had an article about his programs. But he needs to skate that program better. Now that I picked it, I'm like, excuse me.
What's he skating to?
He's skating to Pagliacci. And, like, it is, like, could be a moment. Like, he needs... Caroline is back in the selection pool, so he needs to step it up after that performance at Lombardia. I was sad that free program did not go the way as in my dreams. It didn't in the summer either. I'm, like, I have this fear that it's, now that I picked the music, that it's going to be, like, all wrong. I'm just very nervous about it, okay? I have enough problems, okay?
All right.
But let's talk about a program that didn't go the way we intended it. Kavaguti and Smirnov.
Problems. So they must be like in so much... I'm just distracted watching them, thinking about how much physical pain their bodies must be in, given the fact that they're about 110 years old and still...
She's 34, 35 in November. Okay.
I mean, I remember her at Worlds in Washington, D.C. in 2003 in bright yellow. Like, that was a long time ago.
I remember her skating for Japan with a Russian partner.
Yeah.
Training with Artur Dmitriev, like, in Hackensack. Like, we used to go skating over Christmas and, like, peek at Sarah Hughes, and you would see, like, Yuko Kavaguti there. Like, that, yes, Yeah. Those were the days. And these were the days of 2010 to 2012 when they skated to Claire de Lune and just brought it back. Like, wasn't expecting
that's an old program?
That's an old program.
When you've been around for 25 years, you can do that and no one will know.
Do you remember when they skated to Claire de Lune?
No.
I remember that they skated to something with hearts and her shoulder came out of the 2010 Olympics. And Demi was like, what was that? Or maybe it was one of the competitions before. But yes, I remember, but I don't really remember. And they had like a Swan Lake moment or something, some poofy, white and black. And yeah, they had a moment in the short program. But the triple toes, they do the Moskvina exit really well, where their lines match. And it's like the one move that I really feel like they've learned in their 15 years. Because the double axel, Yuko went down. Roz will tell you it gets really hard the later years on Stars on Ice to get that double axel around. We used to watch her on the Ice Wars, the Ladies Professional Championship, the Canadian Professional Championship, when she would do the Pro-Am, maybe on tour on Stars on Ice at Madison Square Garden. When Roz went for that double axel, especially the second one,
she was
out of breath at the end of the program, maybe skating to Donna Summer, you never knew if she was going to do it. But you knew she was going to go for it. And Yuko, it was upsetting.
She's going for it. But like, what did they miss? And then they missed the spin, maybe.
Okay, it was the throw quad sal where he kind of lifts her into the first rotation. Look, we have seen her injure herself many a times on this jump. They're still going for it, like parabands. Okay, parabands. Could not believe that. They just were kind of just hanging out after that fall. It did look painful, but they didn't seem like in a rush to get back into the program or competition. I don't know. The rest of the program to me was, I'm not sure why they're continuing at this point.
It was a rough skate. They looked like, as Masvina said to you, they are sticking around.
Sticking around, yes. I remember that in my stomach really well when Jenny asked that. But I think of it every time when they skate a performance like that. They were sticking around. As were some of the ice dancers. You know what? There's a lot of problems going on in Russia. They don't have a top ice dance team right now. I think as of this moment, this recording, you have to look kind of the top 5 teams. Weaver and Poje with Nikolai and all of his energy 24/7. You've got Virtue and Moyer. You have Papadakis and Cizeron. And then you have the Shibutanis. And you have Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. And then you have kind of like the contenders, Hubble and Donahue, Gillis and
Capolini and Lanote.
Those are 8 teams. I don't know if I see how these Russians are going to compete with all of them, certainly, to get in that mix. It's going to be very difficult. Bobrova and Soloviev, I wasn't inspired by the program. Nikita and Victoria, we saw they've been training in Russia now with Volkov, who was an assistant coach after an incident in Canton where they're not really welcome there right now at the moment. So I don't know. I didn't love the ice dance performances. But there were other performances this week. You keep talking about Mid-Atlantics. Look, did you ever compete there? You did coach at Chelsea Piers.
Yeah.
With Sonia Makarova and Elliot Halverson,
I think so. Maybe not, though. It was sort of like a weird it's always like a weird time of year where there was like
September
Challenge Cup and some other little local things. I don't think I did mids. Anyway, pairs teams did. It's become such a pairs competition this year. When did that happen?
They've always kind of, they've used it for Skate America for that last spot a couple of times. I've seen Andrew and Gretchen have some strange falls on a lift. There always is a girl in a black leotard because the costume isn't done. There were a couple of them this year. Look, Ernie and Caitlin were here. I don't know why you had to go to Queens that night because Ernie and Caitlin were skating. I was excited for it. Jillian was in town. She just wanted to watch Mid-Atlantics. She claimed it was Bruno's birthday and that's why she was there. But that girl was all about this competition. She wanted to see Marissa and Mervyn against Ashley Kane and Tim Leduc because Marissa tried out with Tim Leduc and picked Mervyn over him. And then they were fighting for the spot at Skate America. All right, so break it down. What were your thoughts on this competition?
So, I thought Marissa and Mervyn, I don't think when I watched I knew about his injury. But given that this is their second season doing that same program and this is now their fourth season together.
Third.
Is that right?
Third. Mm-hmm.
I expected more from them.
They were pleased with their performance because it is their second long. I do think that they're going to have to step it up, especially at Skate America. And
I do not think that they got the Skate America spot because of this performance.
No.
Like, there is no way. They got that because it should be theirs. They are the third, based on nationals, they are the third best U.S. team. They deserve 2 Grand Prix assignments. They did not get that spot because of their performance at Mid-Atlantic.
Well, I think that Ashley and Tim kind of were maybe considered, but he got 0 points for that death spiral at the end. He didn't do a full rotation. They don't have a triple twist. I think it came down to they're just a couple weeks maybe, or a couple months too shy of really getting that, but they have a lot of potential. I think she probably has to quit singles and focus on this. She's doing both events, and by the end of the competition, unfortunately, she didn't do the throws like she did in the warm-up. I think the girl was just exhausted. They were competing after 10 at night at the end of a long weekend, so you kind of think, they didn't look as good as they did in the short program. I think Marissa and Mervin, it was a couple weeks after his concussion, but they are going to have to get a solid second throw and get those side-by-side jumps together.
We know they can do them. We've seen them do them with other partners.
We have. They can do them. I've seen them land them together at times. So I think definitely moving forward, it's going to be really interesting to see that. Yeah, your girl Erica Choi-Smith was there. They had a coaching change over the summer. Don't look ready yet. But let's talk about the girl that I am very excited about. I've been excited about her for a while, Marin Honda. All right, is it Marin? Is it Marin? Well, apparently she has... She has, I was reading her Wikipedia. Apparently she has 3 sisters and maybe a brother. But, okay, one of the sisters is, Miyu, and one of them is Sarah. I would like someone Japanese to explain this to us, how there's, Japanese sister, and then they have, maybe the token. I don't know. Look, don't understand this. Her sister's, a child actress in Japan, apparently. They say successful on Wikipedia. I want to start watching her. But I think that Marin is the true star of the family. Skating through 3 versions of Romeo and Juliet, and I loved all of it. Okay? I was such a fan.
She draws you in.
She does.
And she has this, unique combination of being beautiful, but also adorable. You know how, usually you're sort of one or the other?
Yeah.
She somehow has gotten both.
Did you see that show with Kirsten? She has to get rid of the cute. Marin has it all.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that too, Kirsten, one or the other, but Marin Honda.
She kind of has some Yuka Sato edges going on.
Yeah.
And this is what annoys me about the Junior Grand Prix. She only beat the second place finisher by 2 points in components. And I was like, 2 points on each mark? What do you mean 2 points? That, to me, there was a huge difference in their skating and their refinement and the overall performance.
And Japan swept the podium there, right?
Yes. And one of our other skating crushes, Jeff Buttle, did Marin Honda's program. But I do want her to give that last piece of music. I don't think she's ready for the diva moment when the da-da-da-da-da comes in. Come on, girl. You reigning world junior champion. Own it. Bring it home.
So, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think... So, I have to say, I thought that she definitely has, a very mature look to her. Does not skate like a junior. Mm-hmm. Do you think this trio is better than Miyahara, Asada, and Rika Hongo?
I would like to live.
And next week.
I would like to live and not answer that question.
Oh, Japan, that's not that controversial, is it?
I think that Marin Honda and Wakaba Higuchi are going to challenge the other ladies. I am not going to say what order they will finish in. I am excited for the All Japan Figure Skating Championships. I don't think the silver and bronze medalists are at the same level of Marin Honda and Wakaba. My personal favorite skater in Japan right now is Marin Honda. I have to say, money on it. I like Satoko Miyahara, but I like Marin Honda better. I think her jumps, her overall skating, she skates. Mm-hmm. One thing about Satoko in person at the World Championships is I felt that her skating is much smaller and that she looks much bigger on TV and much faster, and she doesn't fill out the ice with the same verve. But yeah, what did you make of? Do you think that these ladies are better than the other three? Don't pull a Jenny Kirk and get me to say the tough thing so that everything comes in my way. Yeah.
No, I will say it. They don't. Your fans don't know where I live. I do. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna compare it. We did see.
I do. I mean, I agree with you about Sadoko. I think she's beautiful, but her jumps don't really get off the ice, and we saw that reflected in the marks. And Mao has moments of brilliance and seems to fall apart at other points. And
Rika doing the river dance at Worlds. Yeah.
Oh, I do.
What did you think of the men here? Vincent Zhao won the short program. It was actually choreographed by Drew Meekins. They said that it was David Wilson. David Wilson did the free skate. So give Drew a shout out because I really liked the short program. And I thought he was trying to get him to use the spread eagle, the outside to inside that I always like. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought he looked taller.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting he did triple loop. Is that?
It was interesting. Yeah.
And Sam Smith is great skating music. Is this what Jason Brown's skating to?
Yes, everyone is. The writing is on the wall for everyone. Okay? That is.
I loved it. I thought he seemed like he liked it.
Yes.
And I didn't get that last year from him.
Yeah.
He seems just. I know he's had a coaching change, and
he's had coaching changes. All right, let's be honest. In the last couple of years, he went from Tammy. He did a little work with Frank and still with Tammy. Then he was injured and out of the game for a while. Then he was with Yuka. Weeks later, he was with Tom. Now he's back to Tammy. It is, and you have Nathan Chen switching about. These two are big talents. We don't even know who's coaching them at any moment, but they have the talent to get there. The one thing with
the future is bright for the U.S. men.
And their quads, their quad lutzes, their quad flips. The one thing.
The quad style he did in the long.
Still got the carrot. I don't understand. Go for the lutz at this point because I think he can do that. The Sao has routinely had a carrot, but it's getting closer. If he would point the toe like Sasha Cohen, I think he would get it around. In the air, make Dick Button really happy. I think he has a little bit more personality than the winner, who's Brian Orser's student from Korea.
Right. There was, loads of potential.
Loads.
Also looks tall. And skates older than 14.
Yes.
For sure.
But
I love his long program music. That's one of my favorite skating soundtracks.
All right. Overall, I was impressed with both of them, I have to say. And I had the name of the winner, and he's on another page here. So I am...
Hwan Cha.
Good. Got it. Money on... This is why you're here, okay? This is why you were here on the skating lesson. Now, let's move over to Lombardia. So we're in Italia now, and we had the men's competition. All right. Let's break this down. Max Aaron skating to the Lion King. I have been waiting all summer. When I heard this, this could go two ways with me. Because I am a nerd to where I know the Lion King musical. And I'm that's very African, very rhythmic, very powerful, has very interesting choices. And then we have the movie, which is a little bit cheesier, Elton John. When I found out it was a Tom Z student doing this, I was just really scared. I didn't know which way this was going to go, and it was they did a hybrid, and to me it was really strange. And then they pulled in footwork music from So You Think You Can Dance, so I had to make a phone call. I called Tom. They have switched out the Elton John Can You Feel the Love Tonight section.
That was my favorite part!
No. You know what? This may be your one and only appearance on the show. I don't know. Look, I'm just saying, I was confused by that music edit. I didn't. Maybe it was just a mishmash, and I didn't see the Elton John coming, so I just was.
I'm not a choreographer. I do not have a background in music or choreography. The things I know.
What did Nathan Birch teach you?
Yeah. Okay. You want a beginning, middle, and end. Usually fast, slow, fast. Okay. Number 2. I believe you want your program to sound like it's one piece of music.
Yes.
To not hear the edits. Unless you're doing like some sort of medley, but you don't want Lipnitskaya's long program. And you want something cohesive. This was not cohesive. Like,
yeah. I would go the Broadway route. I know that they're thinking about maybe changing the music to the end. And they're changing the Can You Feel the Love Tonight to He Lives in You, which is from the Broadway piece. I would actually scrap the footwork music entirely, that So You Think You Could Dance part, and the ending.
Yeah.
And I would go from the beginning, which has some of the tunes, to He Lives in You, to Shadowland, and maybe a strong, like, kind of like ending.
The middle and the end separately, I didn't mind so much. But and they just didn't go together. And, you know, with Max... Okay, so when he first came on the scene, we're like, he's kind of like this Elvis Stoico.
Yes.
And Elvis had his martial arts, and he did the
dirt bike racing, and yes.
And he found, like, his niche in his look, where he could... Wasn't it the dragon?
Yeah.
He could portray that, and then he, like, did something very similar. And we keep waiting for Max to find that his martial arts niche.
And why is Elvis not his mentor? Like, why have they never made that call? They can both quadruple jump. Max is going for the quad toe. We know Elvis could help him with that. Apparently, Max did have a blade issue before they left. They switched, and, you know, he was just a little... And he's going for the quad toe again for the first time since 2013. He doesn't like that as much as the Sal, but... I know that Tom Z, because Tom Z's thing is that if Max does the quad sow, he needs to put the triple toe on the end of it. And nothing makes Tom nails the chalkboard more than a quad sow double toe. And
I get that. I did like his short, same as last season. And I thought last year his program showed a lot of improvement, and they are a little bit more, they were intricate compared to what he had before. And this, especially the beginning of this, just, it's on 2 feet and it's crossovers, and he's going to go up against Jason Brown.
So they need some real steps, and they need
more.
They need to pick a couple of pieces of music. You know, there's changing out music. I would reduce the number of music and really revamp this before the Grand Prix. I think after the Autumn Classic. That's my vote. And I would go the African Broadway musical route and really highlight his power and his strength. And I think it could actually be a unique piece of music. I would get the Disney-ification of the movie out of it. Now, they had Jason Brown switch his short program at Champs Camp. Don't understand.
What was it before?
It was the one that he was doing last season, and then he switched.
Oh, good. I hate that.
Okay. The one that he did at the end of the season?
I hated it.
The one at the end of the season you hated, or the one at the beginning?
Oh, the beginning.
Oh, because then he switched that.
Prince, at the beginning?
No, the one at the end of the season, it was upbeat too. He did it at the challenge, the made-for-TV one.
Right. Yeah.
But then they switched to The Writing's on the Wall. And the writing is on the wall that it's going to come down to the quad jump. He's been working with Frank Carroll. He went for it here, didn't get around, but I did think his triple axels looked the best they've ever looked. I know that Frank thinks he is really... For Jason, yes.
Even it looked... Is it when he swings his leg out wide?
Yes.
He's 2-footing it, but I can't slow it down to actually see the 2-foot.
Yeah. And the 2-foot, you always have to question if a 2-foot is under-rotated, but sometimes... And sometimes he lands on the whole
1 foot, but under-rotated.
Yeah. I thought that it looked better in the long. I did. I really thought that the triple axel looked better. The second one, I thought especially. But...
I thought the quad in the long looked really close. It looked like he just sat down.
Yeah. I think it's getting closer. Apparently he landed them at Champs Camp. I do have to say, as much as I like what he and Roheen do together, I feel like we've seen it and 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 seen it, and I want to see him work with at least another choreographer for a short program, just to see what he could do.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with what he's doing, and I get that Corey Aid is a marketing genius and knows how to team choro, but I think I want to see Jason Brown do something different. a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be interesting to see him with another choreographer, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, why fix it? I mean, I loved his long. I think
the long would make a good short. And then, yeah, I don't know. But speaking of programs, what did you make of Shoma Uno's program? Because to me, it was really interesting, but the woman's voice at the end is a little jarring, at least on this. I thought it was a little much, but I like his skating, and I like that he seems to be channeling his inner Daisuke Takahashi, which is always like a positive note in my book. But
I liked the short.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the triple axel
Fantasia for violin and orchestra, which we've seen, I believe, Mao Asada and my original daughter Nina Zhang skate to over the years. Yes.
The triple axel into that cantilever I thought was really cool, but
the cantilever in every program though now is a little.
Yeah, but it was at least at like a different spot.
It to me is becoming like the Johnny Weir knee slide in his show programs. Right. You know it's coming.
You know that expression like you see on Twitter or text. It's like SMH shaking my head,
which I thought was so much hate for the longest time. Yes, yeah.
That's how I feel about his long. It's like his skating is so. He needs, like, the opera and the deep edges, and you get this, like, husky woman. And I actually wanted him... Okay. So I want him to channel Patrick Chan.
What's wrong with Daisuke?
Well, I didn't think of Daisuke. I just thought of Patrick. Daisuke would be good. But Patrick, like, maybe, like, you're without a coach. Maybe you're at this crossroads of your career, and... here is this new thing for you as mentor to Shoma.
Wait, you want Patrick to mentor him?
Yes.
While he's competing?
Well, I know, like, Patrick's still competing, but maybe if he didn't want to compete. Shoma Uno could be his mentor.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I was just in Canada. They might kick me out. Okay? We can't even talk about that. And I have heard... that Patrick is going to have at least someone at the boards with him. So, if not two people. So, but that announcement is, like, forthcoming. But there's, I think he may take Nikita's spot at a rink, I think allegedly. Just what we're hearing. But I'm interested. I think, I always said that Marina should be the Marta Caroli of American skating, and she may prove it with Patrick. I think she may crack the whip a little bit. Anyway, allegedly. Anyway, moving on. I think that Shoma Uno with the quad flip, I'm interested. He worked with Alex Arashev this summer, and I know he still is opening up that free leg. I think that they need to, continue to work on that because there are a lot of really talented skaters with quads. I mean, Nathan Chen.
Right.
A lot of these boys are coming and able to do these jumps, and I think... what he did already a couple months ago, now people are matching it, but I think he has the overall ability. He just can't lose points on a triple Lutz or a triple flip.
Right. I mean, he's the total package, so it's just a matter of landing those.
He is like Hanyu's little brother. They are the total package. Hanyu's programs, huge fan of. When I saw them, very excited to see him compete. Were you excited by that clip?
Was that a quad loop?
Yes. Where have you been?
No, what I know. And when I started skating and my mom was like trying to learn a little bit about skating and like she heard Dick Button say you need to count the head, like how many times the head goes around to see if it's a double or a triple. His quad loop is so easy. I was rewinding it like 3 or 4 times being like, is this a quad? It's got to be a quad, but it looks like a triple.
And another Prince program too, along with Tessa and Scott. For that.
Now, you might have Japan come after you, but ever since watching Hanyu at Worlds, he skates with his head down like this, and I can't stop looking at it. And I just want to take his chin and go like that and be like, lift your head. It drives me nuts.
But the quad loop does not drive me nuts. I'm saying. Yeah. You can speak for yourself, okay?
Well, I take full blame.
Okay, all right, because
Okay.
you now have Russia and Japan coming after you in the same show. I'm just saying, okay? I don't know. Look, you're a brave woman, okay? Statement necklace like the Countess, loving it. But let's wrap it up with the ladies because we have Mirai Nagasu here. Did you like her skating to The Winner Takes It All?
I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I like that she clearly relates to it, and I thought that she skates because she loves skating.
Yeah.
And it shows. So I did. I didn't think I was going to,
She
but
got
I
her
did.
programs later this summer too. I heard that there was like a minor, injury over the summer, and then she got the programs later, and she looks
She
good
needs
to
some
me.
more transitions, but
She's like having a Spyro moment at the end.
Yeah.
Tom Z posted a Spyro clip of Mirai. Like, Tom Z's all about the jumps, and suddenly he's into the program? Like, what? She's changing him. You go, Mirai Nagasu. I do want to go to her parents' restaurant still, but I want to. Yeah, we need to do this with Mirai. Yeah. But Wakaba Higuchi, look, she skates. She obviously has good taste in skating. But you have to, know yourself. So she apparently really likes our girl Meryl Davis. And the Scheherazade, but then she did a different version of the music. But she, copied the dress, but did it, in the light pink instead of in the purple. But to me, Scheherazade is not her forte. I think that she's a very powerful skater and needs something kind of like Midori Ito's 1992 program. I think she should do that every season. She should do the Midori Ito 92 Rachmaninoff program with Yamada at the boards. I just bring her out. To me, I thought I don't think that her programs suit her.
Yeah, I think, now that Japan's probably coming after me, what the hell? She sort of lacks a specialness to her.
Well, she's like a jumper without a quad or a triple axel yet, I think, is how I would describe that. She's got the power.
Yeah.
Ooh, ouch.
I mean, it didn't keep my attention. It didn't draw me in.
Well, I think that she needs more powerful music, and that'll match that a little bit better, is kind of what I would suggest in that situation. But I feel like we have been all over the globe, this week. So what was your moment of the week?
I'm going to take my moment of the week to Canada.
Okay.
And your trip to Montreal.
Montreal, yes.
And your interview with Hubble and Donahue.
Your favorite moment? What was your favorite moment of the interview?
Madison Hubble talking about the ick factor and having the ick factor with her brother and just discussing that and then talking about how she brought the ick factor in with Zach and he's like, I'm ick. I loved it. I loved it all.
She's my girl for the season. It was Ashley, it was Alexa, now we have Madison. I think that they are all converging. I'm team them this season.
What was your moment of the week?
Well, I actually really liked both of their programs. And I love the fact that they're each dating one member of the Spanish team. That is a lot for he's dating Olivia Smart, and I think she's with Adria. Yes.
I think we need to keep that under wraps because we their fans want them to be together so much and skating to the love music. We need to that's going to give them extra
Mike watched their interview and was like, I want them to get back together, and he was having his whole theory. You know that Scott Moyer is his favorite skater. Now he's Tarasova. He's learning,
As he should be.
As he should be. I am going to say my moment of the week, Marin Honda. But I would have to say the upcoming interview with Marie France that I'll release that right before the Autumn Classic because it talks about Tessa and Scott's programs. And I'm not having the Ice Dance World come after me if I release something too early. She talks a little bit about the French programs as well. I also saw their free dance in person, just saying. Can't speak about that yet, but I am excited to discuss all of that with you. And reminder that hop over to Golden Skate to discuss this episode and all of skating afterwards. So go to goldenskate.com. Pick up Kelly Lawrence's book, Skating on Air, because we need to talk about the heyday, our commentators, our favorites, and also the Red Army documentary about Russian hockey. In the spirit of Tarasova, we need to discuss her father, who was the father of Russian hockey, Anatoly Tarasov. It's a really great film, and I think that you're going to be... And she makes an appearance. She makes an appearance in the film. It's exciting. You need to watch it, La, because I think that this is a movie that will speak to us.
That was a lot of random facts you just threw out at us.
Look, this is what I'm known for, okay? Like, this is... I went to Montreal... Can I just tell you, I was falling asleep on FaceTime every single night. I was filming for like 12 hours a day. You know, you left me high and dry. You were too sick to go. I went, I saw, I conquered. I worked out. Well, I didn't work out, but I filmed Megan and Eric working out. I did go to Eccentrics, though. So...
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, well... I know those Quebecois women working out. So as always, I want to remind you that when you have flexibility, like Yulia Lipnitskaya, you hold that edge and you look sexy at every possible moment. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.